welcome to Creepy Culture. This is Jen, and today is going to be part 2 of my UFO encounter. Part 1 has all the details of location and everything. I was with my best friend Cindy when this happened. I also call her Sis, so if you hear me say Sis, I'm still talking to the same person, Cindy. And she's just going to tell about what she remembers from that day. And this is a recorded phone call, so I believe there was some background noise in the call, and I apologize for that, but I'm technically challenged, so I'm
Hey,
working
sis.
on that. But
Hey,
we'll go ahead and listen to her part, and then I'll
Okay,
see you
so I
afterwards.
need you to go ahead and share with everybody what happened to us that day in New Carlisle when you were up there at my house visiting.
well, we were going to the drive-thru to get snacks and drinks, and it was on like a country type road.
Yep.
And I remember we went and got what we were getting, and on the way back, my car stalled. And then the next thing I remember, we were sitting in a driveway,
Yep.
and we were looking like through the front windshield, and I said, "You said something about something in the sky," and I said, "It's a Zeppelin." And you said something about it had deep scratches on it. And I remember I could see the scratches, but I felt like they were glaring. And then when we got back to your house, everybody was asking us where we had been because it had been a couple of hours. And I never really thought much about it until you called and was asking me what happened to us. What happened for those 2 hours that we were really gone?
That's because I don't remember. I didn't remember for a
I
minute.
remember everybody was upset. The kids were upset. Dan was upset. Everybody was upset because we was gone so long.
Yeah, they were tripping.
Wanting to know if we went to a yard sale, if we made a pit stop somewhere.
I thought they were crazy.
We were like, no, we went to the drive-thru. What are you talking about?
I know, right? I thought they were all nuts. I'm like, what? But it's because I didn't remember, and I don't even know how long that was from the day that happened until I called you the one day, because we talk all the time, every day, just about. So I don't even know how long it was, how much time elapsed before I called you and said, "Hey, sis, do you remember that day we went to the drive-thru and the car died in the middle of the road? Did you
Yeah,
see
that was
it?"
weird too because it was like that Zeppelin was sitting like right on top of the tree line.
Right. So I'm trying to be like, did you see something up that tree? Because I just remembered about it. And I was like, what was that? That was not a plane because it would have knocked our eardrums out. A plane that big, like the Wright Pat planes.
Yes,
That would have knocked our eardrums out being,
it didn't have any wings on it though.
no, I know. So that's what I think. I was just laying in bed one night about to fall asleep and I was like, wait a minute, what was that? It didn't have no wings. It wasn't making any sound. It was just sitting over the tree. That's why I called you like, hey, am I tripping or do you remember that? And that's when you were like, yeah, I did. It was a Zeppelin, but that ain't what it looked. I don't know. It was shaped like a Zeppelin,
It
but
was shaped like a Zeppelin.
yeah, but it was definitely not like a balloon.
No,
It was
wasn't.
solid. So yeah, I saw that, but I have no idea. I still can't either. I can't remember. I don't recall how we got in the neighbor's driveway. Do you?
No, because we were in the street,
Right. In the middle of the road.
in the middle of the road, a
See,
country road.
right. I can't figure out how we got backwards into their driveway because we already passed that house.
And how my car just stalled and died out of nowhere.
I know. So I don't remember any of that either. Do you?
No,
Mm-mm.
no, I just remember looking through the windshield
Yes.
seeing a Zeppelin-shaped something above the trees, right above the trees.
Yeah.
And I
It really
remember when
was.
we left, my car started right up.
Yeah, it did. And I don't recall that at all. Like nothing of that. I don't recall like how we got in the driveway of a house we already passed. I don't recall that, and I didn't recall the tree thing until later. I didn't remember it that day, did you?
No,
Mm-mm.
I was so worried about driving home with the kids and the car breaking down. I didn't know.
Right. So, and the
But
other thing,
it never acted up like nothing. My car was fine.
yeah, it
Never
never did that again,
did
did
that
it?
again, ever.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't recall anything else except afterwards. I don't even know how much time elapsed. I wish I had remembered better, but that's the only thing I ever recalled was something was up at the top of that tree. Because I remember the car had died and we were both looking up through the windshield
Through
going,
the
oh,
windshield.
yeah.
Yes.
And I don't even think we said anything. Do you recall saying anything or did we just look at it?
I feel like you had said something. What's that? I don't know. I feel like I remember ducking my head down to look
Yeah.
from my little bitty Ford Escort.
Right. That's crazy. And the
Like
other
what?
thing, I don't
And
know.
then I was like, whose driveway are we at? Where are we at?
Right, that was freaky because we'd already passed that house. So I really don't know
See, I
how we
don't
got
know them
turned around.
roads because I don't live out there. So nothing out there looks familiar to me.
It was Carlisle Addison. Well, it was Marquardt Road that turns into Carlisle Addison Road. It's a 3-mile trip from my house to the drive-through. So 6 miles total, and we were gone for 2 hours. So like that just blowed my whole mind when they were saying that. I thought they were being stupid. Like, you know, I didn't know why they were saying that until after I remembered about that thing being at the top of the tree with making no noise at all and just sitting there. It wasn't moving. It was just hovering there. And then my brain's like, how did nobody else see that? That thing was huge. Like I don't even remember like when we were looking up through the windshield, I don't even remember seeing sky. All I seen was that thing at the top of the
Yes,
green leaves. Yeah,
yes.
that's how big it was. So I'm like, how did nobody else see that thing? Like, was it cloaked and only we could see it or what? Because you know, it was warm outside. All the kids were outside playing, but I
And it
don't
was
recall.
daytime.
I know, broad daylight, middle of the afternoon, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I just don't know how nobody else saw that.
I
And
don't
then,
even,
and I really hate talking about it because, like, seriously, Sin, where were we at for 2 hours?
I don't know.
That freaks me totally out. And then, oh yeah, I want to talk about our grandparents
Okay.
too. So do you want to tell about your grandma? Where she lived at and what she wrote down in that encyclopedia?
So my grandma lived in Glouster, Ohio, and from the time I can remember, every summer we went to grandma's house. Most of the time to help her get her garden ready. And she would get out an encyclopedia, the U, and go to the back of it where she had written about a flying object that she had seen when her and my aunt were coming home from my aunt's band practice. And she would read us the story of how it was saucer shaped, had multicolored lights. The lights would flicker around in a circle on the object, and her and my aunt were frozen in the driveway for quite some time. And then she said it just lifted and went right above the tree line and was gone.
That's so wild. And then what what year was that about, do you think?
Well, that's the hard part because she said it was when my aunt was in band. And I assume it would have been when she was in high school.
So
So I'm
that would
going
have
to
been,
say probably in the 60s,
yeah, that's wild. And then, didn't she say it left a burn mark on top of the,
on top of the garage. Her
yeah.
garage didn't come up to a peak. It was more like a slope,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a circle imprint on the top of the garage where it had hovered.
That's
That was
wild.
there for many years.
Mm-mm-mm. It's a shame that somebody, after she passed away and somebody broke in her house or whatever, it's a
Well,
shame
she
they
used
dumped
to
that
let
stuff.
the hunters go to her house and hunt, because she was staying with my mom or one of the other sisters, her daughters. And somebody found out that she didn't like live there and stay there anymore and broke in, took what they wanted, and my aunt went down with her boyfriend at the time and located a bunch of the items that were thrown over the side of the mountain.
That's terrible.
So nobody ever got prosecuted and they never found out who done it.
That's
But
terrible.
I would have loved to have had that encyclopedia to read to my grandkids.
No doubt. That would have been so cool to keep that. And the reason I brought up your grandma is because my mom told me something one time, and this would have been like, my mom was a little kid, and my mama had like 13 kids, and there was only like 5 of the kids. So my mom was born in 33, so that means this was probably like in the 40s. And this was in Tennessee and Lafollette. And she said that one time, she didn't like elaborate on it. It was just this thing she told me one time. And she said, when I was little, she called her my mama mommy. She was like, me and mommy and daddy and a couple of her siblings were out front, and they were like down by the sidewalk or whatever. And she said that they saw a bright white light, and my mama told them all to hold hands because the Lord was coming back.
Oh, wow.
I know. And then she's just like, we saw this big bright light, and we were just stuck on the sidewalk, and we were holding hands, waiting on the Lord to take us. And that's all she said. And I'm sitting there going, after I got older and remembered her telling me that, I was like, oh no, they probably got abducted. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you telling me about your mamaw, and then that happening to us in New Carlisle together while we were
Right.
together. It makes me wonder if they don't abduct people in family lines, like they abducted my mamaw and my mom and her
Right.
siblings, and then it happened to your mamaw and your aunt. So now I'm wondering if they're not like abducting in family lines. And also, I mean, we'll never know that, but it's just something that I think about. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you, because I don't think I ever asked you before, but the day after that happened to us, you didn't notice anything weird on you? Like you didn't have no marks or anything on your body or?
I remember a long time ago, yes, I have a spot on the back of my head. Um, it's not a pimple or a mole. I've had the dermatologist look at it. She doesn't know what it is, but oftentimes it gets a little scab on it, and it never goes away.
They never
Never.
did a scan, did they?
Nope.
No. Makes you wonder, but I don't recall anything on me. Like I don't recall having marks on me or anything like bruising or, you know, a weird mark on me or anything like that. I don't remember anything like having that after we were missing for 2 hours. But I hate even talking about it because it really freaks me out. Like where were we at for 2 hours?
Right.
And for my grown kids to remember that,
Right.
and like Baz remembers.
Baz remembers it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for them to say, yeah, you guys were really gone that long. And it's just like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Like, where were we at? And I hate that we don't remember it too.
Me too.
Because probably a good thing we don't remember it. We'd probably be freaked out, traumatized in a nut ward or something. But, just saying, it's probably a good thing
And
we
if we
don't
could have
remember.
remembered sooner, we might have, well, drive-throughs really don't give receipts. Might have been able to look at the time on the receipt that we checked out, but I don't recall ever getting a receipt from the drive-through.
Me either, not ever. So, and for anybody listening, a drive-through, some states don't have drive-throughs, but drive-throughs are just like drive-through convenience stores. You can just pull up in there in your car and buy cigarettes or pop,
Pop, chips,
drinks, chips,
candy
beer,
bar.
whatever. So
It's
that's
just-
where we went. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. But did you want to add anything that I forgot?
Not that I can think of right now.
I don't think I think we covered everything because that's all I remember. I don't remember anything else. Do you?
No.
That's all I remember too.
I remember being questioned.
Oh, I know. Like we got in so much trouble for that. Us and our narcissistic guys we used to date. What in the world?
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, we got in trouble for being gone for 2 hours and we didn't even know we were gone for 2 hours. So fun times, right?
Right.
But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this part. But
Okay.
hold on. I'm just going to make it stop recording. But thank you for coming on and telling your side
You're welcome.
because it, at least, I don't know. That's all I remember. I don't wonder if we'll ever remember anything else or if that's just it.
I don't know.
Probably not because it's been all these years and I've never remembered anything else. But anyway, thank you for coming on and telling everybody.
You're welcome.
All right.
So yeah, that was our UFO encounter, and it really does still freak us out after all these years when we sit and wonder like what happened to us for 2 hours. Yikes. No idea, but it's freaking weird. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll have a new video out by this time next week. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.